Good afternoon, dear children. So here I'm back for the part 2 of this Who Ate the Sun chapter. Hope that you have gone through the chapter till where at least I have taught. Please learn it properly, learn the spellings, read the chapter thoroughly. It will be easy for you. Okay, so let me continue. As we had seen about myth, we are studying that myth is the word of mouth. It passes on from generation to generation, and these are the stories to explain the origins of any cultural practice or the natural phenomena. So that is a myth. So here we had studied till here that where the science fiction could be regarded as a type of modern myth. Okay, so because there are many scientific stories are being told, so that also can be considered as the modern myth. When we hear old myths, we can see why people could have made up the stories they did. They needed to explain frightening or awe-inspiring events or happenings in a way that would comfort and ease them. So these the myths, those are required only to give an explanation to ourselves, to give a satisfaction to ourselves that okay, this must have occurred because of such and such reason. So that to reason out, so people normally start giving the myths. Okay, they needed to explain frightening or awe-inspiring events or happenings in a way that would comfort and ease them. Ease them means to make them more comfortable, to make them understand certain happenings, which is the natural phenomenon that is occurring in the atmosphere. So to just, because all of us cannot understand that. Some of the people, if they are intelligent, they reason out and they try to find an answer, then they narrate their reasoning to other people to make the other people understand the occurring of such phenomena. So here the awe-inspiring means the events that generate the feeling of reverence, admiration or fear. Reverence means some respect. Admiration means we all look and say, wow, it's looking beautiful, and sometimes we have fear. So like when a volcano erupts, we have fear. That's a natural phenomenon, that's an awe-inspiring occurrence. Then when we see the shooting star, that actually gives us a beautiful appearance it gives. So it's, we all are very happy to see. So in reverence we are looked at that. So there are various happenings in the atmosphere. For that we have such type of feeling. Okay. The stories told about the solar eclipse are good examples of such myths. So there are various stories told about solar eclipse in various countries. Okay. The sun's movement as seen from the earth is regular and dependable, and people tend to take its regular journey through the sky for granted. So we know that the sun appears every day in the east, it rises from there, it sets in the west. So this is a natural occurring phenomenon, we all know it. So it is taken for granted that yes, it will happen every day. So now here we know the scientific reason is that earth rotates on its axis, and so we have this day and night. When the earth revolves around the sun, the situation is that we have various seasons. So this is the scientific reason that we are having. But in earlier times people did not have such reasons, so they did not know. So they did not have an idea that what exactly is happening. So they used to give their own conclusions. They had an opinion in earlier times that the earth is in its place and the sun is only moving. Sun comes out or rises from the east, and then again it goes and sets in the west. But actually we know that sun is in its place and the earth is only rotating on its axis. So here in fact people have always used it to regulate their lives and livelihood. Yes, according to the movement of the sun, when the sun rises, we all wake up, we all perform our day-to-day duty during the daytime, going to school, going to office, going for shops and all everything. And as it becomes dark, normally we all start returning, but nowadays our lifestyle is a little different. So people are still going for offices. So the lifestyle is changing slowly. Okay. But actually in earlier times it was scheduled according to the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun. So all the people used to return home from their fields. Earlier times there was no offices or anything. So from the fields they used to return home as the sun set, take food, take rest, and then go off to sleep. They did not have any TV or anything. So this was there. So that means, so just imagine as it becomes dark, they did not have any electricity also. So they used to eat and sleep. So eating normally they used to do it just before it used to get dark, and then they used to sleep as it used to become night. Then again they used to wake up early in the morning as the sun rose early in the morning. According to the sun's rising only people used to start their day. This was their schedule. So they had a good healthy life rather, because it is also told that when the sun sets, the energy in the atmosphere is less. So it is difficult for human beings even to digest their food. So it is always advised that we should have very light food at night. Or you must have observed the Jain people, they all have their dinner before the sun set. Okay, that is a very good habit that they are having, that before the sunset they all finish off their dinner, because when the sun sets, the body does not get so much of energy to digest the food. So it becomes actually unhealthy. But we all normally have a food dinner, sometimes quite late, and sometimes nowadays we all don't even see that what exactly we are eating. We all love to have all the delicious items, the fast food and all, which is totally harmful, and so only nowadays we are having so many varieties of diseases in our body. So if we would have followed the routine of the people in olden times, we would not have so many diseases. That is a fact. Okay. So here in fact people have always used it to regulate their lives and livelihood. So livelihood means going to work in the fields. That is what they used to do. No offices, nothing was there, no schools were there. So going to the field or going to the forest to cut wood or to get the fruits or anything whatever they got. So this is how they had their livelihood. And then all of a sudden they see something unusual happening to the sun that cannot be explained or understood. Now what is unusual happening to the sun? We are talking about the eclipse now today. Okay. Now we all know that a solar eclipse occurs when the moon comes between the sun and the earth. So here the moon comes between the sun and the earth and blocks the light of the sun to the earth. So for a fraction of a second or a fraction of for a few minutes, we see that the light of the sun is blocked and it becomes dark. Okay. Then again when since the movement on its axis is going on, earth is moving on its axis continuously. So of course due to that movement what happens, slowly again that line, the straight line of the sun, moon and the earth, it again changes because the earth is moving, and so again we start getting the light of the sun. So for a few seconds or you can say a few minutes, it does happen that we cannot see the light of the sun. So only we have that umbra and penumbra region, right, of a solar eclipse. So here it blocks our view of the sun, so we have a solar eclipse. If someone doesn't know what a solar eclipse is, it's natural for them to be frightened to see the sun being eaten up bite by bite right in the middle of a perfectly ordinary day. Yes, since we all have studied that the solar eclipse and this is the way it occurs, so we know it is easy for us to understand. But in olden times they did not have any science, they did not have any experience, so nobody knew. All of a sudden one day it's happening like this, that slowly during the daytime the sun's light has been blocked for a few minutes, and so they felt that, and they could see when they are looking up at the sun, they could see that slowly the sun is being like eaten, chunk of the food, because the shape also comes like this, curved shape comes as though it is being eaten by something. So these people imagine that yes, sun is being slowly eaten by something. Now who is eating the sun? That different countries have different views. Okay, so here and then equally suddenly it comes back chunk by small chunk. So slowly again it returns, the sun is back with its own bright light, chunk by small chunk, till it is shining over the world once more. It looks remarkably like someone ate up the sun for a while. In fact, the earliest word for eclipse in Chinese, shi, means to eat. So the Chinese had given a word for eclipse, that is shi, which meant to eat. And most myths about the solar eclipse are stories of various creatures and demons devouring the sun in the sky. Devouring means eating. Okay, so there are various stories and myths about the sun being eaten up. Devoured means being eaten up by whom? By the demons, Rakshas. Because human being cannot go there near the sun, people know it. And so that means who can reach the sun? Maybe the demons are reaching the sun. That was their idea. The Vikings saw a pair of sky wolves chasing the sun or the moon. Now here, who are the Vikings? Vikings are the Scandinavian, the people who had gone for voyage, and they were actually like the ship thieves they were. Okay, the pirates, sort of pirates you can say, who all are the thieves of the ships. Okay, so these Vikings, they used to be in the ships only in the sea or ocean. So continuously they are over there. So they once said and gave a conclusion that what is happening, they saw a pair of sky wolves. So according to them, sky wolves are there in the sky, and they were chasing the sun or the moon, and when they are chasing, they are eating up. That was the conclusion these people had given, though they had never seen any wolf, but they imagined that. Okay, there was an eclipse whenever one of the wolves caught a bright orb. Orb means a round shining object. Okay, that is known as orb. So they had given a conclusion that whenever one of the wolves is chasing a bright object here is either the moon or the sun. Okay, so that time we are having eclipse. They spread this to everyone. In a story from Vietnam, now another story. Okay, in a story from Vietnam, a frog or a toad eats the moon or the sun. Now, can a frog or a toad eat the moon or the sun? Just imagine you have seen a frog. Now, what is a toad? When you will study in science, there is a difference. Okay, toad is also just like a frog. The only difference is its size is bigger than a frog. Okay, and the color is also little brownish. Okay, so that is the size. But still, bigger means how big? So this much big only it can be a toad. Not more than big, not like this so big. So toad can be so big. Frogs are little smaller. Okay, so now here the Vietnamese people, they gave a conclusion that a frog or a toad is eating the sun or the moon also. The Koreans, again another country. Okay, the Koreans thought wild dogs chased the sun across the sky and ate it. So according to them, who went to the sky? Wild dogs. They chased the sun and the moon and then ate it. In our country, the story is told of the demon Rahu, who disguised himself as a god in order to steal a taste of Amrit after it was churned out of the ocean. So now here in our country there is a story that you must have heard about Rahu and Ketu, isn't it? Rahu and Ketu, they always have a fight. And if Rahu and Ketu enters into anybody's life, it is told according to the Indian mythology, then there are some problems in our life. Okay. So now here, as the story says in Indian mythology, the story is told of the demon Rahu, who disguised himself as a god. So Rahu now disguised himself as god. And what he did? To steal a taste of Amrit. Okay. Now what is Amrit? Amrit is the nectar that grants immortality. Okay. So this nectar is actually, this Amrit is actually taken by gods only. So only gods are immortal. Immortal means हमेशा जिंदा रहते हैं, वो कभी मरते नहीं हैं. That is what mortality, immortality is. We human beings are mortal. Okay, that means we will die one day. Even the animals are mortal, they will also die one day. But God is immortal. Okay, God will never die. So this Amrit is actually drunk by gods. That is the Indian mythology belief that we had. Okay. Now one day Rahu had taken this Amrit because Rahu wanted to become immortal, and actually Rahu was a bad person. Okay, but it was a demon sort of, and it wanted to become immortal like the gods. Now if it becomes immortal, that means nobody can kill Rahu, and Rahu is a bad one. So he wanted to become immortal like God, and gods were doing all the good work. But this demon Rahu was not doing any good work. It was always causing harm to people, but it wanted to become immortal. And this Amrit was at that moment churned. Churn means जैसे हम मट्ठा बनाते हैं तो उसको ऐसे घुटने से हम करते हैं. That is called churning. Okay. So this Amrit was churned out of the ocean, and this churning is done by Lord Indra and given to all the gods. And Lord Indra is the superior of all gods, and he takes it and then gives to all gods. Brahma is there. So here, when it was churned out of the ocean, this Rahu had taken it. Okay. Now had eaten it through the mouth. The sun and the moon saw what he was up to and reported him to Lord Vishnu. Vishnu, the matter was reported to Lord Vishnu, because Vishnu is the leader of gods, or you can say Lord Indra also, same. Okay. So sun and the moon, they reported this to Lord Vishnu. Vishnu sliced off Rahu's head before the Amrit could slide down his throat. So what did Vishnu do? Immediately, because Lord Vishnu knew that Rahu is not a good person. So Lord Vishnu wanted to kill Rahu so that Rahu would not have been immortal. Okay. So when it threw the chakra, Lord Vishnu has the chakra, it threw the chakra, so the chakra went and cut Rahu like this. Okay. So that means the Amrit which was there in Rahu's mouth had not even gone through the throat inside its body. Okay. Because once it entered the body, then what would happen? Then Rahu would be immortal. So it remained in the mouth only, and so it is considered it has been cut. Now this portion, head, is now immortal, whereas the body is mortal. Okay. So Vishnu sliced off Rahu's head before the Amrit could slide down his throat. So this is our throat. Okay. As a result, the head turned immortal. So the head is immortal, means it did not die, but the body died. The demon Rahu's head continues to move through the sky, chasing the sun and the moon in anger. Now it is believed that this Rahu's head is only chasing the moon and the sun, and because of that we are having the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. Every now and then he catches them and swallows them. It is believed that Rahu catches the sun, swallows, and then it becomes dark in the earth, and then since till neck only his head is there, and after that there is no body only. So again the sun comes out of that neck portion, it comes out and we can see the bright light of the sun. That is what is now believed. Okay. So here the demon Rahu's head continues to move through the sky, chasing the sun and the moon in anger. Every now and then he catches them and swallows them to cause an eclipse. Okay. Now whenever the eclipse is occurring, that means it is believed it is the Rahu's head is catching the sun or the moon, eating, and then again it comes out. But as he has no throat, the sun and the moon fall out every time and the eclipse gets over. So this is the Indian belief. Okay. Now again you see another country. The Chinese to believe that an invisible dragon ate up the sun. So they made a huge commotion to frighten away the dragon. So you must have seen in the Chinese flag there is a dragon whom they worship. Okay. So the Chinese believe that there is another invisible dragon which has eaten up the sun. They could not see the dragon in the sky. So this dragon has eaten up the sun or the moon. So they made a huge commotion. So whenever like this it becomes dark, they understand that invisible dragon has eaten, and so they start shouting. Okay, commotion means to create a chaos. Okay, and lot of noise and all they start creating, so that when they create noise, they think that the dragon will get scared and leave the sun or the moon. So they made a huge commotion to frighten away the dragon. They had drummers beating drums and archers shooting arrows. Archers means those who all shoot that bow and arrow. Okay. So they had these people, the drummers also and the archers ready for them into the sky. One Chinese emperor had no drummers ready and no archers waiting to shoot arrows during an eclipse because the royal astronomers Si and Ho had failed to predict an eclipse. So these two astronomers can predict the eclipses. Okay. Now this royal astronomers, royal why? Because in the king's court they were there. So they are known as the royal astronomers. They all failed to give a prediction that today it will occur. And so the king was not ready with the drummers or archers. So the king got angry on them. The emperor was so angry that he ordered that the two astronomers be punished. So because of this, the two astronomers were punished. The people of Japan, on the other hand, believed that poison dripped from the skies during an eclipse. So they took care to keep all the wells covered. So poison started dripping. They feel like that when the eclipse occurs, poison drips. It is true that when the eclipse occurs, we don't say exactly the poison drips, but the sun and the harmful rays are being emitted, and because of that the atmosphere becomes polluted. Okay, so because of this we are even told to cover the water which is we have kept for drinking. So this is scientifically true, that we should cover our pots and all wherever we store food for drinking. So because the sun emits harmful rays, but here the Japanese, they believe the poison was dripping, and so they covered the well. The Batamaliba people from Benin and Togo in West Africa have a different and interesting belief about eclipses. Their myth tells the story of a fight between the sun and the moon during an eclipse. So the sun and the moon are fighting according to these Africans. The people encourage the sun and the moon to stop fighting. So the people go and tell, please, from earth only, they are not going there in the sky. So from earth only they start, please don't fight, please don't fight. They start praying God that please tell them not to fight. To this day they see eclipses as a time of coming together and resolving old feuds. So that means during the eclipse all the people come together, they forget their fights, their own fights, and they become friends, and they pray to sun and moon that please do not fight. So that they forget about their old feuds, old fights, they forget about that. Interestingly, there is a similar real life story about an eclipse on 28th May 585 BC. The armies of the Lydians and the Medes had been at war for a long time when suddenly the day turned into night. The two armies were so stunned that they declared peace and the fighting stopped at once. Yes, when in earlier times they had the battlefields, the fights like the Kurukshetra fight and all we have in Mahabharata. So it's a rule that during the daytime they would fight. As the sun set, they would stop fighting. They would return back to their own deaths. Okay, that was in earlier time, that was the system. So now here in this night means you can understand when it becomes dark. Okay. Now one day what happened? The solar eclipse occurred in the middle of the day itself. and people have an idea that at least so much time it will not be dark. But that day suddenly it became dark. So they did not understand that what it was. It was actually an eclipse. They did not understand. They thought that God has done something. Now it is dark. So they stopped fighting. They became friends. Peace was given, and then they again after some time again the sun reappeared. Then they were surprised that what is happening. So this situation also had occurred in the past. So these are the different myths about the solar and the lunar eclipse. So myths, you understand that these are the stories only told to satisfy the people. So children, I have completed this chapter. I want you all to go through the chapter thoroughly, because you have to remember the various myths of different places. So please keep reading at least 5-6 times to remember it. Okay. So thank you and have a wonderful day.